Plowing and how it is judged, a lesson on judging competitive plowing, judges and land stewards' duties. These pictures are to show attributes. They're not to single anyone out for having made mistakes or for doing anything wrong. And yes, this is the disclaimer part. What I want to cover, a review of the scorecard and how competition plowing lands are scored, and to show antique, conventional, rollover or reversible, and horse plowing lands. Definition of a judge. A person appointed to determine the results of a contest or competition. A person who is able and qualified to give an opinion. To form an opinion or conclusion about something. To appraise critically. A person who, by observing the land plowed, will in an unbiased and fair manner judge a class of competitors in the proper order from first to last place using an IPM scorecard. So this is an example of an IPM scorecard. As you can see, we have 5 major categories, which are then split into subcategories for scoring. This is a systematic approach which has provided a tool for consistent scoring across many types of plowing. This includes horse walking and sulky plows, antique drag and hydraulic plows, conventional and reversible plows. This system works for a beginner class at a local match all the way up to a Canadian Championship plowing competition. All attributes are scored out of 10. Each and every column on the score sheet is out of 10. This makes for an easier way to think about scoring a land. It becomes a mindset of tens. So how do we learn to come up with the numbers? Through mentoring, training, judges' school or meetings, and experience. When judges look at plowing, we may ask ourselves, when determining what number to write down, is it perfect? How can it be better or improved on? Did they do half a job? How low do we go on poor plowing? What number do we assign that attribute? This is an example of an open split, and as we can see, straightness and cut and uniformity both count for 10 points each. Split. The strip should be well cut through so no land is left uncut. 1 round will be permitted in making opening split before judging. All sod, weeds, etc. should be cut so that no uncut area remains under the crown furrows. Each individual furrow should be uniform from end to end. Faults observed in this image. The center furrow starts out small and gets larger by the second arrow. The front furrows are more uniform. This split will be scored low in the cut and uniformity sections. Uncut grass or roots will lower the score, as will an uneven or lack of furrows. The split should have no grass or stubble anywhere inside of the split, either loose or still rooted in the soil. Splits may look different from the middle of the field than they do from the ends, so yes, we do use pencils. A reversible opening furrow is a single furrow and is scored the same. This is a very uniform opening furrow. Straightness is important. This is looked at from both ends of the field. Crown conventional. This is scored based on straightness, closeness and conformity, burying grass and stubble, and soil available. It is 10 points each for a total of 40 points. The crown consists of 6 rounds for horses, 4 heavy rounds for a 2-furrow plow, and 3 heavy rounds for 3-furrow and larger. A horse crown consists of 6 heavy rounds for both walking plows and sulky. Reversible crown consists of 8 heavy furrows. Straightness and cut and uniformity are both worth 10 points for a total of 20 points. 4-furrow or 3-furrow crown. A 3-furrow may work better in loose soil or stubble, whereas a 4-furrow may work better in heavier soil or soft. Practice both to see what works best. You will have 1 less furrow in your crown when doing a 3-furrow crown. Closeness and conformity. The front 2 furrows must meet and close so there is no open area between them. Conformity means that each furrow in the land looks the same side by side. All furrows should appear to have the same depth and width and blend in well with the other plowing. You should be able to lay a plowing stake over a crown and have all the top edges touch it. Do the front 2 furrows conform with the other furrows? In this example, they appear a little wider and flatter than the next furrows. Burying grass and stubble. Nothing is visible in this picture. Soil available. It should be the proper depth and body to make enough soil available that if a set of furrows were taken across on a 30-degree angle, it would create a level seed bed. In this example, the first 2 furrows are closed in but are too high. The second furrows on each side are too low. There's not as much soil available on either side of the first 2 furrows. The plowing looks somewhat flat without enough soil to make a good seed bed. What faults do you see here? There's open crowns, wheel marks, furrows not matching, no body to the furrows. This lowers the score in closeness and conformity, burying grass and stubble, and soil available. General work. This includes covering grass, closeness and packing, so no holes, firmness, soil available. 10 points each for a total of 40 points. This includes the entire land from crown to finish, including the cast-off. General work is judged by walking across the land. Covering grass and stubble. All grass, stubble, and weeds must be completely buried. Closeness and packing. The furrows should be well packed and closed with no openings between furrows. Firmness. The furrows should be against one another so that they do not break down or collapse. Soil available. Proper depth and body to make enough soil available that if a set of harrows were taken across on a 30-degree angle, it would create a level seed bed. Packing and closeness. There should not be any open areas. The skimmer depth, pressure on moldboard, and speed can all make a difference. Though we can't walk across this land today, what would you expect to find? The other point of this slide is to show that everyone has a bad day. This was plowed at the world competition. General work for reversible is scored the same way. What would this be like to walk across? Sometimes it will surprise you how firm or soft plowing is until you walk across it. Reversible plowing. This includes connecting furrow and butts for 10 points each. The connecting furrow should be level with the balance of the plowing. There should be no dips or holes. All soil must be plowed. The butts should be visible, uniform, and have no wheel marks. Reversible is a real challenge. Connecting furrow and butts. From butts to finish, there must be 19 or 20 furrows. General appearance includes all furrows plowed. This is scored on straightness, conformity, distinctness of furrow, uniformity and shape of furrow, shape of land, ins and outs. 10 points each for a total of 60 points. Conformity. Furrows should be the same depth and width. They should appear to be the same all across the land, with no pairing. In this image, we can see that the red lines are the same length, but the furrows do not match. Distinctness of furrow. Furrows will appear to be well defined and distinct from each other. Uniformity. Shape of furrow. Furrows should be the same shape, depth, and width, the length of the furrow. Shape of land. The proper relationship of crown to body of land to finish. A level crown with the balance of the land. Problems earlier in lands can lose you points again in shape of land. Good crowns, plowing, and finishes will gain points in shape of land. Ins and outs. All soil inside the scratch furrows should be turned with a minimum amount of headland being disturbed by the plow. The plow should be able to plow depth as quickly as possible. There are 10 points for ins and outs. Both ends of field are looked at for scoring. Finish. This is scored on straightness, grass and neatness, shallowness and narrowness, soil available. 10 points each for a total of 40 points. A finish includes the last 12 furrows, 6 furrows on the throw outside of the finish, and 5 furrows in the sole furrow on the crown side. There is a misconception that it is only the last round of the plow. Straightness. Not only must the furrows be straight, they must be parallel. Note that the tire track crosses over one complete furrow instead of staying true all the way across the field. This lowers the score for straightness. Grass and neatness. The finish should be free from loose soil, weeds, etc. Shallowness and narrowness. The depth should not exceed the average depth of plowing the field. The final or sole furrow should be at the same height as the other furrows. Soil available. Is there enough soil available to fill in the finish? Is the tire track up, or does it look like it's another finish? Antique finish no longer is to have a 4-inch step. A good finish is straight, no grass or soil in the bottom, not too deep or wide, lots of soil to fill in the finish, sole furrow up as high as other furrows in the finish, and no step at the base of the finish. These were tough conditions, but the subsoil was plowed up, the tire tracks are not parallel and deep, the sole furrow is uneven and too small, the front furrow is too deep and wide. Looking over the last 12 furrows, they do not match up. This makes for a wide finish with not enough soil to fill in. The furrow that tire track ends up on was slightly larger when plowed. Here, the tire track kept up level with the other plowing. The furrows blend in well, there's no grass and very little soil in the bottom of the finish. Reversible finish. This is scored on straightness, neatness and weed control, final furrow level with crown, no unplowed or replowed soil. 10 points each for a total of 40 points. A reversible finish has the finish right beside the crown. The open furrow is under the first crown furrow. The back coulter should cut the last of the unplowed soil, but not cut the crown furrow. Reversible finish. Final furrow level with crown. 19 or 20 furrows must be in place from connecting furrow to finish. 3 main tips for preparation for a plowing match. Practice, practice, practice. Have your equipment ready. Don't wait for the night before to prepare. Sharpen shears, skimmers, and coulters. Have every adjustment working. The day of the match is not time to have to get things working. Turnbuckles on mold boards, coulter adjustments, top link and plow leveling crates. Replace any wore-out bearings or other parts. Practice driving straight. Straightness is in the scorecard 4 times. Practice cutting the grass straight, working the ground straight, driving the four-wheeler straight. At every opportunity, practice. Ask others for help. Work together and critique each other's work in a helpful way. Every time you make a pass across the field, look back and ask yourself, how can I improve on what I'm seeing? After each match and the end of the season, get things cleaned up, well-oiled, and repairs done for the next match. And the last plowing tip, have fun. It's a challenge, meet great people, get to see other parts of Ontario. My challenge to you is to compete next year at the IPM. How to become a plowing judge. In May of 2007, Jim Armstrong, the judge-in-chief at the time, forwarded the following guidelines to OPA. To encourage new judges to be added to the judging list, they must attend 6 branch matches and accompany a qualified judge and, with assistance, help score the classes. This must be documented as to the judge and branch match attended. This was reviewed by Jim at the 2008 annual meeting and approved. This was then implemented into the official handbook or prize list. The final selection is at the discretion of the judge-in-chief and assistant judge-in-chief, and the names will be forwarded to the OPA Board of Directors for approval. Please contact the Ontario Plowmen's Association if you would like to become a judge. We would like to help in any way possible. The judging guidelines can be found on the OPA website. A person should have plowing or coaching experience, be physically fit to walk the fields and across the plowing, have good vision, and be able to be impartial and treat everyone fairly. Stewards' duties and objectives. To officiate over the plowing competition and see it is carried out in a fair manner, enforcing all the rules and assigning penalties if need be. Attend all info meetings prior to the start of competition. Read and understand the rules of the competition as set out in the official handbook or local plowing match, and be in a position and prepared to act on them. Proceed to the plowing field of the class either before or at the same time as the contestants. Check to see that there is a lot for each contestant in your class and that all lots are plowable. Report immediately to the chief steward and presiding judge of any changes that are made to a lot location or number. Know your class lot numbers and locations and direct competitors to them. When all stakes are set by competitors, the steward shall signal them to commence plowing. Record the time, watch for and record any plowman who goes over the 20 minutes for a split. Record any penalty on the timesheet. After the judges have completed scoring the open splits and tractor classes, the steward will signal the contestants to commence plowing. Please be at the end of the field where the judge finishes to move things along quickly. Record start time and calculate finish time, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Inform each contestant of the finish time and the current time on the steward's watch. Monitor closely the class during the competition to ensure that no one is doing anything outside of the rules, including coaching, dismounting on wrong side of tractors, tramping headlands, etc. Record time of breakdowns and allow time for repairs according to the OPA rules. Do not travel together to cover a broader number of competitors at any one time. Monitor closely at the end of the allotted time and record any competitor who is over the time limit and record the penalty. Sign and leave the timesheet with the judge. As judges and stewards of plowing competitions, we want to be sure that all competitors are treated and judged in a fair and equitable way according to the rules. I wish you all good luck and good plowing in the coming year. Thank you.